Hi there, my name is Spenelo. South Africa is going through an exciting time. Our national elections are around the corner and it seems to be the most important one since 1994. Although this country is now a free country, there are still many problems abound. And since all the parties sing the same song at election time, it's time to filter them down. The purpose of this video is to summarize the main players in these elections in just 5 minutes, detailing at least 5 of their promises, so you can't say that you don't know what's going on. Let's begin. The main parties are the ANC, the DA, COPE, IFP, ID, the ACDP, the UDM, and the Freedom Front Plus. The African National Congress was established in 1912. John Dube and Saul Plaatje were the 2 founding members of the African Native National Congress, seeking to increase the rights of black South Africans. In 1923, it changed its name to the ANC, and in 1961, it formed a military wing called Umkhonto we Sizwe. During the struggle and up to the 90s, many ANC leaders were instrumental in the struggle and served time in jail for their crimes against the government. But in the 90s, Mandela's freedom proved to be the catalyst to change South Africa for good. Although the ANC garners a huge chunk of the vote, it has constantly been hit by many controversies in recent years, involving especially corruption and backstabbing, so much so that it can't be trusted as a leading party anymore. The split of many of its members to COPE has left quite a few question marks about how strong they will be in the next election. Let's not be biased now. Let's hear what they have to offer. They will give decent work opportunities and sustainable livelihoods in order to achieve lasting victory over poverty and hunger. It plans to work towards free and compulsory education for all children. The ANC also aims to reduce the rate of new HIV infections by 50% through an aggressive prevention campaign. The African Christian Democratic Party was established in 1993. The ACDP was established exactly 100 days before the 1994 elections as a Christian alternative to vote for. It represents Bible-believing Christians, those with a high regard for moral values. It has been growing steadily since 1994, and in 2004 it garnered 1.6% of the votes nationally, 7% at a provincial level, and with 7 seats in the National Assembly. It promises many things like bringing back Christian holidays, Ascension Day, and bringing back prayer into schools. It argues that the death penalty should be reinstated, saying that most civilized nations call it uncivilized barbarity, but condone abortions. It believes that government's condom campaign should be abandoned and that abstinence and faithfulness in marriage must be promoted. It will fight the influx of genetically modified food to South Africa. The Democratic Alliance was established in 1989. The Democratic Party, now the DA, was formed when former Progressive Federal Party, Independent Party, and National Democratic Party merged. The DA was formed on the 24th of June 2000 when the DP and NNP merged, but the NNP fell away in 2001. What it stands for? To have an equal opportunity society in which every person is free, secure, and equal. It is the official opposition of the ANC and gained 12.3% of the vote and 50 seats in the National Assembly in the previous election. The DA's top health priority will be to find more dedicated and well-trained health professionals. They will ensure that drugs to prevent the transmission of HIV to babies and rape survivors are available. They will conduct a detailed review of outcomes-based education. They will restructure the housing subsidy system so that its benefits can reach many more people. The DA also says that skills development should enjoy a very high priority in South Africa. The Freedom Front Plus was established on the 1st of March 1994. What started out as just a Vryheidsfront, it was and still is a party for the mainly Afrikaner people. In 2003, the Conservative Party, the Afrikaner Eenheidsbeweging, and the Freedom Front merged to form the Freedom Front Plus, led by Dr. Peter Mulder. It wishes to represent the voice of the Afrikaner people in all spheres of government. It also said that if you don't vote, you don't really have a say or opinion in South Africa. It promises to save the Springbok emblem, to stop the renaming of streets in Pretoria. The Congress of the People was established on the 16th of December 2008. COPE was founded by Masiela Kota, Mbazima Shalowa, and Mululeki George after Thabo Mbeki was recalled. COPE says that their vision for South Africa is a democratic, inclusive, prosperous country which shuns all racial, ethnic, gender, narrow chauvinistic stereotypes and prejudices in favor of a caring society where shared national identity and pride are deeply rooted, and where the freedoms of the people are untrammeled by selfish political leadership, and where as a country we are at peace with our neighbors and the world. Cope is currently in a twilight zone. Although many people, especially former ANC supporters, have moved to Cope, there's still no telling what will happen on election day. What we do know is the ANC is very, very worried because nearly everybody with any sort of education or intelligence is looking for an alternative. Cope will look at reversing the high neonatal, maternal and infant mortality rates immediately. They want to strengthen the South African police service and improve their working conditions and reinstate the Scorpions. In terms of education, they want to tackle drugs, violence and absenteeism together with communities, also reviewing OBE to make it better. Concerning land reform, will establish a systematic relationship between established and emerging commercial farmers to ensure even more productive use of the land. They will also play an activist role in achieving a developmental state where the environment and the protection thereof will be harnessed to create jobs, foster innovation and develop new industries. The Independent Democrats, they were established in 2003. The ID was formed during the political floor crossing of 2003. It was the first party to be led by a woman, contest elections and win seats. What it stands for: fighting corruption with an iron fist and fighting for the rights of communities affected by harsh government policies such as fishing and rural communities. It has more than 130 councillors in all provinces throughout the country. It also has 8 MPs and 6 members of provincial parliament. It promises introducing a national food security program that would establish household food gardens, overhauling the education system to develop skills to decrease unemployment, an increase in housing delivery rate to 500,000 without political gain being the motive, need to increase access to healthcare through more clinics, hospitals and emergency services, especially in poor and rural areas, tougher laws and police action on drug lords and the fight against drugs in general. The United Democratic Movement was established in 1997. The UDM was formed by former NP leader Rolf Meyer and former ANC Homeland leader Bantu Holomisa and John Taylor. It has an anti-separatist, pro-diversity platform, meaning it promotes multiculturalism and denounces movements like the black elite or Afrikaners wanting to separate themselves from the rest of the populace. Since Thabo Mbeki's forced removal, nearly 1,000 former ANC members have joined the party, so things are looking up for the UDM as an alternative. It promises empowering voters by allowing for a separately elected president, providing health care to the masses by recognizing the role of social welfare, water and sanitation, basic life skills and awareness. Will bring back the Scorpions and stop the corruption caused by the desire to cash in on lucrative state contracts. A bigger education budget focusing on getting back to the basics and revamping the criminal justice system with more strenuous minimum sentencing for violent crimes. The Inkatha Freedom Party was established in 1975. Mangosuthu Buthelezi started the IFP as a structure rooted in Inkatha. Over the next few years, the ANC and IFP supporters clashed violently because the IFP did not want to see the ANC coming into political dominance, although the party itself had a non-violent stance to the opposition. The IFP's ideology is populism. In other words, it supports the people instead of the elites. It's currently the third largest party in the National Assembly of South Africa with 10.5% of the votes and 43 seats. The IFP advocates abstinence, delayed sexual debut, fewer sexual partners, more condom use and greater emphasis on fidelity in marriage as HIV prevention. It promises to reinstate the Scorpions and protect the integrity of the judiciary. It wants free education up until grade 12. It wants citizens to have access to affordable quality health services and believes housing and essential services must be delivered to the poor in both rural and urban areas. Although that was not 5 minutes, at least now you have a grasp of what's happening in this year's elections. So I hope that you use this information to calibrate who you would want to vote for and whose beliefs you believe in. My research I done on news24.com, sahistory.org.za and on News24's special election area on their site. So if you want to find out more about each party's promises and what they stand for and their mandates and whatever, go onto the internet and search for it now that I have broken it down for you. And thanks and enjoy your day, guys.